What's up, YouTubers? It's your girl, Butter Pecan Brio, coming to you loud, live, and in color. So, we had a little mishap with the camera battery today. Unfortunately, I thought it was recording, but it wasn't. So, today I really need to multitask and go ahead and I need to get my hair done. So, I thought I would turn this into a bit of a hair video slash regular, chill, best friend conversation video. So we're just gonna work with what we have, okay? I still gotta charge my battery a little more, but just to be informative along the way, I wanted to show you what I've been doing with my hair whenever I braid it. Some people have asked me about how I do my hair, so I wanted to be able to provide that to you, okay? So first things first, right? I blow dry my hair. I don't know if you can see this with the detangling attachment. Y'all, everyone's seen this, so I don't have to explain this part. Blow dryer, your standard blow dryer. If you have hair like mine, I have 4C hair. Make sure that it has a higher heat setting. My hair is stubborn and it's very, very thick, so that's kind of what I have to deal with. But before I blow dry, first of all, let's start from the beginning, right? I wash it, I condition it, and I treat it with this, what's it called? It's miel, avocado, and tamanu oil. It's a stay straight serum, so it works as two things. It works as a heat protectant. It also works as an anti-frizz serum. So I really like what it's done to my hair. I actually slept on this. I tied it up into 2 pigtails and I slept on it, and it seems to not be frizzing up too much. Anyways, though, in the morning, I'll sleep on that. In the morning, I'll just kind of detangle it. I use this detangling brush right here. I actually got this from Love Me. So it's actually a wig company. So I like them and they work. So I just brush it out with this. And then I will add some of this. I highly recommend this. Don't even know if you can see that. Ooh, I bet you can't see that, can you? I thought this thing was on auto. I'm sorry, y'all. This is growth oil by Ava Estelle, black owned beauty company, beauty products company. So this is a growth oil. So it stimulates hair growth and hair thickness as well, and it soothes scalp. It soothes the scalp from itching, and it's also good if you're gonna braid your hair. So that tugging, it just really soothes your scalp from that as well. And I'll tell you, this stuff actually really works. It contains a lot of great oils. My favorite ingredient in here is the peppermint oil. So I usually use this before I'm gonna braid my hair, and I recommend anyone, and it doesn't have to be this brand, however I do highly recommend Ava Estelle. Shout out to Ava Estelle. But just make sure that you're putting some kind of treatment oil into your scalp and onto your hair before you braid it up. The last thing you want is to have your hair braided up and dry, right? Protected from all of the good stuff. So that's why I always say just make sure that you treat it. So I just put a few drops throughout my hair and I just finger comb it, and then I'll just run through with the blow dryer on that high heat setting to really let the oils infuse into the hair, right? And so then you have this lovely you have these lovely strands of hair. Is that what we call it for black hair? For 4C, is it still called strands? Anyways, so yeah, and I'll say this, that growth oil really works because my hair grew, it was just above the chin area, so you can see it's grown now. It's like shoulder length, almost titty length at this point. Good stuff. So anyways, getting off my soapbox. So that's what I do, and at this point it's really just time for me to part my hair and begin the braiding process. I need to let my battery charge a little more, so I'm going to show you guys the second half of that. You'll still get to see the braiding. I will show you how I do that. I'm doing a, I don't know if they call it a tribal braid style, basically where you braid half of the hair up and then I want to do a crochet for the rest. So I'm going to braid all of my hair down and then I'm going to do crochet on everything except for this part right here. One of my favorite styles. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Just needed to make sure I filmed this intro so that you understood what I did in the before process, because it's like super important. So again, blow dry. So shampoo, condition, blow dry. I recommend it to sleep on a treatment oil like overnight, and then I recommend like a growth oil or a soothing scalp oil before you get to tugging on your hair with the braiding, or whoever's going to braid your hair, right? And just make sure that you blow it out on that high or medium heat setting. I know some hairs are sensitive to high heat, so please do not feel the need to have to do that, but also just make sure that you tie it up. You need lots of hair bands as well. Again, if your hair is thick like mine, you're going to need a lot of these because a lot of these have broken. Anyway, so I'm going to get started on that, and I'm going to bring you guys back when my battery decides to charge, and hopefully this time it knows to charge when it's plugged in. Anyways, love you. Alright, so it's been like 0.5 seconds since you see me last, since we transitioned from the other video. However, for me, in real time, it's been about an hour or two. I did pause to eat lunch, so keep that in mind as you will. Anyways, though, still braiding my hair. Again, I'm somebody who really likes to multitask. Sorry, I have my, I don't know if y'all have heard of Liquid IV. Really good stuff. Keeps you hydrated. Good for electrolytes. Shout out to Liquid IV. But I have a lot of things that are going on during any given day, so I need to multitask. And so I was like, well, it could benefit some people if this is a hair video, since I'm technically giving tips on how I maintain my hair. So that's kind of what I'm going to do just to balance things out a little bit. So pardon the under construction hair. We're working on it, okay? I'm still working on braiding it down. FYI, I am nobody's perfect braider at all. I like to do it because it's much cheaper than having to go somewhere to do it. I have a lot of hair, as you probably saw at the original video, or the beginning video, I should say. But it's coming together. You know, it just takes some time. But I just like to at least try to do something cute. I tried to do it on this side, not really crazy about how it turned out. So I'm just going to do something different on this side and then have the hair go this way. So, like I said, it's all about trial and error. That's what you do. Okay. Anyways. So let's continue. By the way, like I said before, if you're ever going to do your hair, just please make sure that you've conditioned it before you put it into a protective style, whether that's weave, lace fronts, braids, cornrows, or if you're braiding it down just for a wig, you know, just really make sure that you do that, because you're asking for trouble if you don't. And that's also how you end up with an itchy scalp. Don't over oil it, okay? If you've hydrated it, the oil is just something that provides nutrients and healthy elements like jojoba oil, coconut oil, peppermint oil. So they provide those soothing factors, and they also, in the oils, again, because scientifically, because oil and water don't mix, right? That oil provides a barrier to prevent the hair from losing that moisture throughout that protective style, right? The oil itself is not the moisturizer. The conditioner and other moisturizing products, those are the moisturizers. You can think of it as the whipped cream and cherry on top for your sundae. So think of it like that. And you should treat it like as such. Anyways, though, another topic, though. Yeah, so I usually try to braid my hair maybe once every couple of months. Not like, oh, I don't know how to braid it. No, like I know how to braid it, but it's just I prefer to let it sit. I don't like to mess with it too much, and I think that I can attribute as well to allowing it to grow, is just not tugging on it so much with the hair. When you're not tugging on your hair as much, it really just allows number one, it allows your scalp to just rest without all of this. You see all this that I have to do? But my scalp has been resting for the last 2.5 months, and I've been applying peppermint oil, rosemary oil, and like there's like a rosemary mint scalp stimulating spray. I use a lot of fancy products. Oh, goodness gracious. Y'all, though, I have to tell you about what happened the other night. Okay, this had to be Monday morning, I remember, because I went out with some friends that Sunday previously. So I went out for Sunday fun day, right? Oh, that was good. Came home, had dinner, and then went to sleep. So I woke up around 4:30 in the morning. Sorry, y'all, I gotta let my arms rest. This hurts, but it's good. It's a good arm workout. If you don't get your upper body in, this is it. So I wake up around 4:30 in the morning, right? Everything is good. I even went into the living room to go get me some water. I was just feeling a little dehydrated. And so as I am laying back down, give it about 20 minutes, right? For everybody probably knows this when it's hard to go back to sleep after you woke up in the middle of the night. So I'm on my phone, and all of a sudden I start to hear footsteps. Now, mind you, my boyfriend lives here, so I'm like, it's not like, there's nobody else in the house but me. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now, mind you, I want to go ahead and preface this. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I want to go ahead and preface this. The dogs are both in the room with me, right? That means that can only be my boyfriend that's walking around. So I'm thinking that he's walking around the house, maybe just getting something, right? So I went ahead and called him on the phone just to make sure. So he answers the phone and it sounds like he just woke up. So now my eyebrows are raised and I'm like, babe, are you downstairs? He's like, no, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I hear footsteps. He was like, oh, well, he was like, you probably just have sleep. I said, well, here's the thing though. I said, but the dogs are also perking up to it as well. Ooh, y'all. So then I start to hear papers rustling. Now I'm thinking that there is somebody in my house. There's a stranger in my house. So I'm like, but I hear somebody walking around. So he's like, well, hit the panic button. When it was something about when he validated my concerns that actually made me more like scared. Like I was terrified. So I hit the panic button. Alarm starts going off. I don't hear anything. So I'm like, okay, I don't hear anybody scurrying or moving. However, that doesn't make me feel any better. At this point, I still hear a little bit of footsteps. And so I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe he can check. Of course, I'm asking him to go check. He's like, no, because he was like, no, I don't want to do that because they might have a weapon. Now I'm panicking. Because now I'm like, okay, so now we potentially have somebody in my house who's armed. Ooh, child. Okay. Y'all, my life flashed before my eyes. Not even just because of the weapon part, but just like, what happens now? I mean, so... Anyways, of course I get on the phone with the police and I'm just like, hey, I think there's somebody in my house, whatever. And I'm like, please hurry. Cause I'm just like, it's ooh, y'all, if you've never had that, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That's the worst feeling in the world to think someone is in your house. And so, the police had shown up there. Now, mind you, oh, I hate that. Oh, I hated this. Okay. Now, mind you, right? All the doors were locked, as they should be at night, right? The gate was locked. Perfect. But, for the police to get there, they would have to they would have to get in somehow. So if we couldn't get there, they'd either have to break in through the door or break a window, right? Now, we normally have a remote operated garage door. However, as luck would have it, it's not working. So, now I have to get up to go let them in. Ooh, child, I was like... So, of course, now I'm like, well, I need a weapon. So I grabbed this iron I had. Yeah, and I made sure I was ready to knock somebody the heck out if I had to. So, I'm holding it with the cord in my hand, ready to swing on somebody at any given moment if I have to. So I open the door. I don't see anything. So I got to turn the light on. Mind you, so at this point, I'm having to walk across the house by myself before I even can let the police in. It's the irony of the whole thing. Of course, I'm going to the front door. And of course, the police are there with their flashlights trying to get in. That alone just kind of took me up another level because I'm seeing lights outside of my house. But I'm like, it's just the police. So I let them in. The moment I let them in, I was boo-hoo crying. Because if you've ever had to hold yourself from panicking just to like make it through or survive a situation, it was that kind of feeling. And that feeling, that's a horrible feeling to have. That's a horrible feeling to have. But you're in survival mode, and I think I've talked about that in some previous videos before, but that's the reality. So like I said, it's very much a reality. So, they get there. So they're checking throughout the whole house, all the nooks and crannies. They even checked into the backyard. Let me tell y'all how terrified I was. Let me tell y'all how on edge I was. Okay. When we were walking towards the back door. Mind you, the lights are on inside the house and it's dark outside. So as we're walking towards the back door, you know, the window is reflecting back to us. So as I'm walking up to the door and I see the police officers coming behind me, I mistake the reflection for being outside. And when I tell you, I let out the biggest scream. It was the loudest, blood-curdling scream. And I just like, and I paused and I said, wait. I said, I'm sorry, that's you. I'm sorry, that's you. I didn't see you. I didn't. So, you know, the police officer was just like, no, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm just, y'all, I was toe up, you know, and it's funny now, but that just feeling like that, I hate to feel like that, you know, even just, and because it really makes you feel like every move you make counts, even down to like the getting up to lock the door, right? Like, when I was laying down and I thought I heard the noises and I'm on the phone with my boyfriend and he was like, well, then, you know, go ahead and lock the door. And I'm just like, damn, we're really here. We're really doing this. So, you know, all of that stuff happens. Even having to get up and, you know, when you're like, oh, I need to lock the door. It's like, you're afraid to move because you're like, I don't want to make any noises that make them think, oh, maybe here's somebody I need to deal with. Anyways, turns out there was nobody in the house. There was just some noises, the house settling, but at the time I was like, I'd rather be safe than sorry, right? So, you know, they came, they checked the premises, and then they left. Everything was good. They were just like, do you need an EMS or anything? I was hyperventilating at one point, so they were like, are you okay? Do you need an EMS? I'm like, oof. So, and anyways, though, the whole thing ended up working out. I thank God that no one was in my house. But this is my reminder to you to make sure you lock your doors and make sure you have a security system. It pays to have peace of mind, to have that security system. And I thank God we have one. So at least had that been the case, God forbid, we were ready. So that's just, I wanted to tell y'all a little bit about that. And this is just your meager reminder to please make sure that you lock your doors, hide your kids, hide your wives, hide everything, really. Hell. Oh my goodness gracious. I love my hair. I was telling a friend of mine the other day that I finally got past the ugly mid-hair stage. Because really I feel like after it hit that shoulder length, see, it's almost like I said, it's almost titty length now. Once it hit that length, it got so much better. So, yes, we up from here. Anyways, let me finish up the rest of this and then I will be back to do the crocheting. All right, so we have finished with the braiding part. I've already set it with some styling mousse and I wrapped it, and then I just went ahead and diffused it with my same blow dryer, but with the diffuser attachment, which I cannot find right now, but I'm not about to dig it back up. Anyway, so that's already been done. The last part is, before we do that though, just need to apply. So I really like this is Luster's Pink brand. It's the Scalp Soother in Oil Sheen. So it's like a 2-in-1. It comes with this nozzle here as well that you can stick to it. I'm not going to use that. I really just want to use the scalp soothing spray. So I always shake it up, apply just a couple of spritzes, turn this fan off so it doesn't blow it away from my hair. Yes, Lord. Ooh. And soothing it does. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Sometimes it feels like I'm at the barber shop or the beauty shop, you know, when they spray your hair down after the fact. All right. She's done. And then, but I do like to keep the nozzle just in case I ever want to use it again. Food for real. Anyways, so now on to the last part, which is just crocheting in the hair. After I crochet in the hair, I do usually like to run some product through it. Ooh, turn that fan back on because it gets a little warm up here. Anyway, so we are going to go ahead and crochet the hair in. You don't see the crochet in here because it's not within the camera shot. Don't worry, just pretend like it's there. So I went ahead and racked the hair. You're going to see me re-rack the hair throughout. And so, again, that's really going to be it. Gotta have your good old crochet needle. These babies are like $2 or $3 at the beauty supply store, so, you know, just go ahead and do that. Anyways, I'm gonna get started. In the rest of this video, I actually wanted to talk about, I'm really trying to think about how I want to do this. Let's see, okay, yeah. I wanted to talk about, the difference between, child, when you braid as tight as I do, sometimes it'd be too hard. I wanted to talk about the difference between 20 and 30. I've been thinking about that a lot. Not to mention I did just turn 31 like a couple of days ago. So, yeah. Happy birthday to me. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the difference between 20 and 30 for really for anyone. Right? If you're still in your 20s, if you are in your 30s already, you know, definitely chime in the comments. But one of the things that I noticed, right, difference between 20 and 30. One of the biggest differences I noticed is just your confidence level is up. When you go from 20 to 30, that your confidence level increases. Which very much is true. I think because you've gotten to know who you are. Now, you're never done learning per se, but you truly are getting to learn more about yourself. And honestly, that has been a really amazing thing to learn. And I obviously with me and my transitioning journey, that has enhanced my journey even more to be able to know more about myself, because again, it just goes on that journey of self-reflection, as I was mentioning in a previous video. But ultimately, you really get more established in yourself, and you get more comfortable, and I'm going to say this as just a blanket statement, you get more comfortable with saying no, right? Like, you start to really understand where your boundaries sit. No, it doesn't come automatically. No, it just doesn't mean out of nowhere that you're just going to know what you like and don't like. No, and don't think that way either. You should really think of it like, okay, at 20, there are things that I would have said yes or maybe to, whereas at 30, it's going to be an absolute no. And I'm not just talking about, oh, I don't have the energy to do it anymore. It's just, there are things that maybe were okay in your 20s, or that you at least thought were okay in your 20s. In your 30s, you're going to be able to say, nah, that ain't for me. So, it's just one of those things I really enjoy about my 30s. You know, I feel more comfortable with who I am, but I love that I'm more open to learning than I was before. I think society sets this thought process that we are supposed to have it all together in our 20s, and that we shouldn't need to know anything else, when really and truly in your 20s you're just getting started. So, you know, it's really it's enlightening. And I'll say, you know, my journey could have been different. I know the older you get, the more mature you're supposed to get. For some people that's true, for others it's not. But what I really admire about that is, for me, right, it was almost like the day I turned 30, it just clicked. It started to click. And, you know, we all think that ideally that's what happens. Like, all of a sudden when I turned 18, I can do this. When I turn 30, I can do this. But for me, that really happened at 30. And it's been amazing ever since then. I'm going to tell you one of the best things for me about when I turned 30. Ooh. One of the things that I learned in my 20s, going into my 30s, has been to set expectations. Realistic expectations. Do not go into any situation assuming that assuming that it's always going to work out the way that you want it to. You really need to, and this is where people talk about plans A, B, and C, but they never talk about plans X, Y, and Z. So I always tell people, yeah, sure, you got plans A through C, but what about D? What about E and F? How about getting all the way to the middle of the alphabet at what, M? So, like I said, but sometimes life is just a roller coaster, and you just gotta have your seatbelt on. So that was probably one of the biggest lessons I feel like I learned there. Again, some of this was also facilitated by just going on that journey on my own in my 20s and just purposely trying to learn those things. So for me, sorry for the faces, y'all. I braid tight, and so whenever I had so when I'm putting this thing through, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to explain myself to that. But no, I think it's just, I went on that journey also for myself when I was in my mid-20s. I just wanted to understand life better. So that's just what I did for myself. And, I'm very thankful for how that turned out. I'll say one of the other things that I have learned and that I've been practicing going into my 30s is setting boundaries. If there's something that I really do not like, truly don't like, then I'm going to honor my boundaries, and that's just going to be what it is. It's 20s is the decade of impressing people. 30s is the decade of honoring yourself. So that's what I say about that. So I just say set your boundaries, girl. You do not have to always accommodate everyone else. Hell, some people don't even learn that until they get into their 50s. So, I'm thankful that I learned it now. Yeah, by the way, I'm using this hair. I think I threw away the brand, but it's Free Tress. It's the crochet hair. I wanted an ombre. I wanted like a dual color here. I don't know if you can see this from here. There you go. Yeah, something above my head or something. Yeah. Anyways, this is what I'm using. I just like to go for something different. It's not always what I use, but tis what it is. Just trying to make sure this thing ain't falling loose over here. We're gonna see. I don't know how I feel about this right here. Just because, I don't know. I don't like the way it came out. To me, it's a little messy, but I'm also a super perfectionist. Might not look that bad once I get done, so you never know. That's why I always say, wait to hold it out till the finished product. See what you get. Just might like it. If you can ever learn to braid your own hair, you literally got this thing covered. Child. Okay. I think it looks cute so far. Looks okay, I think. Only matters what you think, right? Anyways, feel free to enjoy this brief montage. I'm gonna speed this up, and then we'll catch back up once I get at least maybe halfway through. So. Finished product. So I decided to just keep this part exposed, and then everything else I just went ahead and crocheted in. Originally I was going to do the full head of hair, but honestly time was running short and I had a friend's birthday party to get to. So, but I really like the way that this came out. Again, I was really afraid about having this part exposed. Just wasn't sure about how I felt about that. But that ended up turning out pretty well. Again, usually when I'm crocheting in long hair, I keep the long hair for a couple of weeks max, and then I'll just clip it to maybe about shoulder length, and then I'll probably keep it for maybe another few weeks or so, and then just once the braids get loose, and again, this is why I like to do crochet, because it essentially kind of preserves the cornrows, so to speak. And so what I'll do is I'll clip it, I'll sport that style for a little bit, then I'll take the crochet hair out and leave the braids in, and then I'll just wear wigs for the rest of the time. And I'll just continue to treat my hair with the growth serums, dry shampoos, conditioners, just to make sure everything stays good. I usually try to minimize putting product on my hair unless it just really gets out of whack and I need something to contain it in the meantime. But I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you would like a more detailed tutorial on the braiding or crocheting, I'm more than happy to do that. But like I said though, this wasn't super difficult and I wasn't expecting it to look the best, but I really like the way that it looks. Doesn't have to be perfect. It was free 99 for me since I was able to do it myself. The only thing I had to buy was the crochet hair. And again, I really like this. I just happened to find this crochet hair at the beauty supply store. But they do a really great job. They always stay in supply of the best products. And again, I really did just enjoy doing this. I like to learn new things. And honestly, the last time that someone did my hair, I thought to myself, well, why am I paying $200 when I could just learn to do this myself? And I get a little bit better every time. Like I said though, it's wearable. You know, I'm not over here looking crazy or anything, so. But anyways, if you would like a detailed tutorial, please sound off in the comments, and I'm more than happy to accommodate. I just want to continue doing anything for my subscribers or anyone that's watching. Just want to support my community however I can. But in the meantime, if no one else has told you today, I absolutely love you, and I really do thank you for the continued support I've been getting. Thank you for watching this video and just having a friends conversation with me, honestly. I really do hope that you've gotten something out of this video, and just stay tuned. You know, I'm going to be releasing more content, and you know, so if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, share, please. I really do thank you for the continued support. It's humbling and it's heartwarming. So just, yeah, keep it coming. You know, keep watching these videos and just let me know what kind of content you would like to see in the future. In the meantime, like I said, I absolutely love you. I'm sending sunshine your way, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.